What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and if you're returning, welcome back. This is my quick review of the Rodeo 110 from Walkera. Now we're just going to talk about this very briefly. I think this is the best ready to fly package for a beginner trying to get into brushless FPV. And I say this because this is the most complete package, in my opinion, that's out there in the ready to fly class. It comes with everything that you need to get up in the air flying. It comes with a battery. This is a 7.4 volt 850 milliamp hour battery. It comes with this transmitter. This is a hobby grade transmitter, really nice. This is an extremely good price for a radio like this in a ready to fly package that's under 200 bucks. So this is a really nice hobby grade transmitter with really nice gimbals on it here. These have the same gimbals that the Devo 10 and Devo 12E has. And it's got 3 position switches and all. The only thing about this transmitter, I think people like to get Devos to mod them to have multi-protocol transmitters, and this one is incapable of housing the deviation firmware because it doesn't have enough memory inside for you to install deviation firmware. So you're just stuck with flying models on the Walkera protocol. So if you're a Walkera fan and you have maybe the other Rodeo, the Rodeo 150, and maybe some of the other Walkera models, then you can just use this one transmitter. You can store the models inside and just fly them all with this one transmitter. It does come with this in the battery bay here, so you can use AA batteries. And if you use rechargeable AA batteries, you can even charge them with this charging port here. But you can remove this. It takes a JST, as you can see, and then you can run this transmitter with lipos. So really nice. They didn't pull any punches with the transmitter there. But it seems like Walkera is giving these Devo 7s away with all their ready to flies, but it's not a bad radio at all. It's a really nice radio. And this battery here, they don't let you know what the C rating is, but it seems to perform pretty nice. I have yet to see a quad with independent ESCs do a death roll. That's something to think about, right? But I don't know what the reason behind that is. It's definitely something, but I'm not willing to dive in and try to investigate and find out why. But this is a really nice quadcopter. It has pretty powerful motors here. These motors are unmarked and they don't give you any information on what kV the motors are, but they're pretty decent. And this also runs on 3S. I have flown it on 3S. A bunch of other people have been flying this on 3S and it's holding up. I haven't heard of one incident where one of the ESCs blew because they were flying it on 3S or anything like that. So really nice. One thing to think about though, I don't think that this package is ideal for someone who's already in the FPV and they have a couple copters. This is not one to add on to your list because I think it's a little outdated as far as the quads that we get nowadays. It doesn't have an OSD, so any retuning or PID changes you need to make, you have to plug this thing back up to Betaflight. You can install the latest version of Betaflight. I did install 3.2 on this and it's working fine. The yaw position just has to be set at 180, and there's another channel on here that has to be reversed. I'm not sure which channel it is, but once you get flying you can figure it out and you can actually just reverse the channel in the transmitter. So you really don't have to put those CLI commands in that I've seen other people doing on different channels. All you have to do is just reverse the channel in the transmitter. And so that's just about all that I have to say about this thing. Really quick, some information about it. It has a really nice bright light here. It has 2 red indicator lights here that stay red when you're flying it. And so it's somewhat of a nice night flyer, but I wouldn't say it's a good night flyer for a beginner because you have to, unless you know how to keep your orientation by the front light here, then you'll be okay that way. But when it turns around to the back, you can barely see those red lights in the rear, so I wouldn't recommend it for any heavy night flying. And also this is a PPM receiver in here, so it does have a slight delay You will notice it if you're doing line of sight, but I think if you're doing FPV or flying in angle mode, you might not really notice that. But that's something I have noticed because I fly a lot, because I do a lot of line of sight acro, and there is a remedy for that. This thing does come with an S-bus end on the bottom here. As you can see, I have an S-bus receiver on here, so you can fly this with your Tyrannus or anything that you can hook up through S-bus and use 5 volts. I don't think you can do DSM because I was unable to locate a 3.3 volt socket here or anything, but you can fly with a different receiver, as you can see there, and it responds well that way. I think it's better than the PPM option that it comes with. But really nice transmitter, really nice quad. One last thing is you can upgrade this with a Runcam Micro or a Runcam Micro Swift 2 and have OSD, but you still can't do anything about changing the PIDs and all. But at least you'll be able to see the voltage of the battery if that's what you like. It does have a buzzer, but the camera, I really don't like this camera here. It's a CMOS camera, and it's one of the older CMOS cameras. I think the technology in the camera is a little dated. Really not a good camera, but it's good enough to fly FPV and do what you need to do with it, especially for a beginner that's not doing any hardcore racing or anything, just doing some freestyle flying or just learning. And it's a really nice package, I think, on the whole. So a lot of the components on here are proprietary, mainly the props, the motors, and the ESCs. The props here have this little space in the bottom cut out because the top of the motor has this little notch on it. So you really can't fit normal props on here. It'll end up sticking up a little bit. I guess if you use some longer screws, you can get those screws to go down in there, but it'll just look ugly. But they go out of their way to stop you from using other props and to use their props. As you can see, it has the screws are not that long, but they do have these little notches there. You have to go down inside them and screw it in. As you can see there, there's a little space before you actually get to screwing it in. It goes all the way, it's really recessed in there. But for the most part, a really nice package for a beginner. The most complete ready to fly brushless FPV package for a beginner, I think. The Walkera Rodeo 110. I'll have links in the description so you can check out some flights I had with this thing. Smash the like button if you like these type of videos, and thanks for watching.